Hi everyone. Today I just wanted to talk about this issue. As you can see by the title, K-pop has not been a very positive place. As of recently, this past week, a lot of scandals and things have come out, and while none of these idols involved are ones that I'm like super into, as you guys know, I only follow girl groups anyways, and half of these are boy group members, and most of the groups that I stan aren't in here at all, but I figured that made me kind of a good person to talk about it, because I'm not as biased as some people who maybe have like their alts in here, and that's not to say everyone who does would be biased, but it's definitely would be harder for them emotionally to go through this. So for those of you who are like me and had no idea about this because you're not on social media, I just wanted to say something because this is kind of a big issue. So this is kind of the website that gives a breakdown of everything right now. So there have been updates as they've come out to this article, and there have been a lot of people accused. There's actors in here. I think it's mostly idols, but this was the first one. And these all came out in like 1 week period. The first one here, this was the 16th. I think the most recent one is the 23rd or 24th. I'm not going to read over every single one of these. You can see the link right up here. You guys can like check this out for yourself if you want to read every single one. But I did want to go through this, and I kind of like, because the only idols in here that like I recognize that I'd like listen to their music were Sujin, Soyeon, and Aisha. So as you can see up here, I do have some other tabs that I'm gonna kind of go through, just kind of some of the questions, because I was curious personally about them and what their involvement was. So the 16th and then the 20th was this next one, and then there have been updates to more stuff, and it's disheartening to see so many allegations against so many people and so many just things here and just so much pain, because either these allegations are true and these people have caused pain, or these allegations are not true and these people are going through pain, and it's just really hard to look at all of this. Like, this is a lot. Like, this is only number 8. And it's just so crazy. So, there are 14 in total. So, personally, my personal opinion on this, oh, Hina. I mean, I know of her, I listened to some of her music, but I got into K-pop a bit late for her. I know she still does stuff now, but I know a lot of her career had already happened by the time I started. But the one thing that I've seen from reading this is, I'm just going to go back up to the top here. The majority of these allegations, if not all of them, I want to say it's all of them, are instances from middle school and high school. Which, granted, yes, a lot of these idols and actresses are really young, but this is still like, yes, people need to right their wrongs, but there is still the argument that that's not who these people are now. This is in the past. And again, this is assuming that this is true because we don't even know that at this point. But if these allegations are true, this is like years ago. This isn't recent. This is stuff that happened when they were younger. And while I don't think that makes it okay, I do think that we should consider, like, how were we like when we were younger? How were people around us when we were younger? How have people changed since we were younger? And I do think that, the world of being an idol is not very forgiving typically. And like, any one of these allegations could end the career of any one of these idols. And I think that while, yes, if they're true, they do deserve to be, they these people deserve an apology, these idols deserve to be held accountable, but I do also think we shouldn't, like, blacklist them or their groups. And I also think that we should give this time. I know a lot of people are starting to talk about it. I think the number one most important thing to do right now is not to jump to conclusions and to try to remain neutral at the moment, because I think a lot of people are trying to jump to defend their idols or trying to jump to bash other people, and the main reason is, like, I want to just reference the James Charles situation within the beauty community and the YouTube community, because I follow YouTube influencers. I don't necessarily support them. A lot of it's people I used to support that I'm now finding out are awful human beings. Anyways, in, like, this summer, God, what year was it? Was it 2019? He was accused of being a lot of awful things. I don't want to get too into it, but they were saying he was trying to seduce people using his fame and trying to groom people and all this stuff that was not true. But initially, the entire internet turned on him. He lost 3 million subscribers, and then a month later, after he had time to collect himself to deal with it, because this is a lot, and he was like 19, and, like, to be dealing with all of those allegations that aren't true, it's emotionally a lot. And then he came out, and we all looked like clowns because we just canceled this 19-year-old boy over rumors made by a couple 30-something-year-old losers for something he didn't do. And, you know, the internet can't take that back. As people, we can't take that back. We can support him now, but we can't take back him losing 3 million subscribers. We can't take back showing our support for these ugly humans who made these things up in spite of him. Like, we can't do that. But I think that we can take that situation and learn from it that, hey, we don't know the full story yet. We should wait for facts to come out. And I know this is a situation where it's going to be hard because they're allegations and they're from so long ago. But I do think we should definitely reserve our judgment for either party until we hear more. Because some of these idols, like, haven't even had statements made yet. Like, some of the ones that were earlier in the week, companies have already made statements, but, like, Cube has made a statement on Sujin, but not for Soyeon, because hers was, like, a couple days ago that came out. So I definitely think we should, like, wait until we hear everything. So it's, yeah. So there is some more information, and I'm going to pause to switch to make sure that this records the correct screen, but yeah. Another thing I want to point out is also that these were all made within, like, the same week. So it's kind of suspicious to me that 14 people came forward all just within the same week. They just happened to do it. I mean, yes, you could say that maybe some of the later victims found strength in the previous people coming forward and decided because they shared their story, these other victims could now share their own. But I do also think it's very possible that one or two or more or less of these stories could potentially be people making it up just because they feel like they can and they're bored. Um, Again, no one knows, but I do think we shouldn't rule out the possibility that some of these were just people jumping on the bandwagon. But on the flip, it could also be people who found strength in others. So again, there's two sides to every story. There's anything could be. So just kind of keep an open mind to all of this is kind of the overall thing I just wanted to say. But I also just, yeah. So I'm going to get into what I do know about some of these, what I did research, and again, all of the websites will be displayed because I'm showing you my screen, so I will get into those now. So the first idol that I wanted to look into was Sujin, and again, there's still not much information out right now, but she was rumored to have bullied the victim's sister and an actress. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'm not going to butcher it. I don't want to disrespect the actress, especially if she's a victim of this situation. But basically, Sujin has denied it, and I believe Cube has denied it. This highlighted a bunch of stuff I didn't highlight. Here we go. So, she says that she apologized for, like, causing a commotion, but she didn't actually do anything. She did admit to the inappropriate outfits and smoking and says that she thinks that that's the reason why this was like fueled because people didn't like who she was, which I don't know. Personally, I feel like this section right here, the inappropriate outfits, like everyone does like dumb stuff when they're young. So I don't necessarily feel like this right here, like I don't think that matters really. Like, and I think someone bringing that in to the argument was kind of stupid and discredits it, if anything, because this is like, this isn't hurting anyone except herself. And, you know, again, people can change like that. I don't, maybe it's because I'm an American, but I feel like this doesn't necessarily need to be thrown into this argument because the more important thing is how she treated these people and do these people deserve an apology. But she did deny it. So at the moment it's her word against the victims, and that's kind of where we're at. We don't have a solid answer. Sujin, in on the topic of whether or not she believed the actress, she said she'd never even talked to the actress. However, the actress wrote a message on Instagram saying none of your excuses, which people believe is in reference to the bullying accusation. So I don't know if this is the actress trying to insinuate that she was bullied. Or if this was on, you know, I don't know. Again, this is the information we have, so I mean, it doesn't, the actress insinuating it doesn't look good for Sujin because now there's two people who are agreeing with this story, and I mean, the actress, I don't know if the actress would have anything to gain or not by claiming it. I don't know. I mean, there's PR either way, I guess, but I don't know. So that is kind of where we're at, is the actress seems to be indirectly insinuating that Sujin did it. Sujin is denying all of it. Cube is denying all of it. And that is currently what it is. She addressed the things that she is admitting to, which is that there was an incident where she cursed at the friend for breaking a promise, and that her sister scolded her for it, and that is essentially, basically the summary is her saying that there was an incident, but it was not nearly the extent of what the victim is claiming, and that she didn't bully the actress. The actress is claiming, well, insinuating on Instagram that she did, but that is currently where it is. That is currently what I know. I'm sure more will come out about this later, and I'm sure more people will report about it later, but just kind of for people who are curious, since, again, I'm just going over what I researched about the people that I was curious about, that I kind of wanted to scope on, since these are people that I personally, you know, have supported, and me personally trying to figure out whether I do or don't support these people anymore. So that's what we know so far about Sujin. As far as Soyeon's allegations go, a lot of people were saying, well, this is obviously false. Soyeon was homeschooled, like there's no way she could have bullied anyone. However, and while it does say that she was homeschooled because she wasn't fitting in at daycare, it does say that she did enter an elementary school and was studying ballet, and I did research, like, do trainees still go to school? And I mean, we've seen idols graduating. We've seen, like, I know in Somi's documentary, we saw her and we saw Ryujin and Chaeryeong graduating. So I do believe that idols still go to school, or at least they can. So it seems like she did homeschool, but she did come out of it. So it is still, like, a possibility that she was even in school. Obviously, if she was homeschooled, then it would be a pretty open and shut case that she hadn't done it. But currently, there hasn't been any other statement from Cube or Soyeon at this time. However, that's just kind of the only thing. So a lot of people were pointing out, oh, well, she was homeschooled, but she was only homeschooled up until her second year of elementary school, and in her third year, she did go into school. And then finally for Aisha of Everglow, her and the entertainment company have denied the accusations. And they made a statement here saying that they are not true. They can't even find out who the accuser is. Stop the indiscriminate speculative reporting. So it has, I mean, they're correct. There hasn't been anything confirmed yet. So they're basically just saying that it's not true at all. So I do think there is a level of skepticism that comes with these people posting anonymously. Like, I do think that these people should come forward to the companies, because I mean, Sujin, it seems, at least knew who the person was. But in Aisha's case, it seems that they have no clue who the person even is. So, I mean, this is kind of like, I feel like if this person wants credibility, they do have to, like, say who they are and, like, come forward in a way in order to try, which I mean can be difficult, like if this is an actual victim who did go through something that is trying to stand up for themselves, but they can't even find out who this person is and they have no, like, inkling or idea. So as of right now, with the details we have, it's looking like this one might be false, but again, until, the victim could come forward, and then the whole thing could do a 180. So I don't know. Currently, in Aisha's case, it has been denied, and they don't even know who the person is. I would also like to point out, too, that in a lot of cases like this, I mean, the main thing that anyone being accused of anything like this can do is to apologize. And, like, when you take the case with, like, Irene, the stylist just wanted an apology. And I feel like most of these victims, like, that's the best thing these idols can give them, and I feel like it is difficult for an idol to try to apologize to these people if they don't even know who the person is or, like, what is even going on. So I do feel like in this case, if this is a victim, that they are going to need to, in order to get what they want, which should be an apology, they are going to have to come forward, because how, is Aisha supposed to apologize when she doesn't even know who she's apologizing to? Like, that's kind of a difficult situation, and I just think that that is a big, like, problem with these anonymous things. I do feel like at least anonymous confessions, that's the word. I do feel like these people do need to come forward to at least, like, the company and the person they're accusing so they can get an official apology, because I do feel like that is the main thing idols can do. The only other thing that these people have to gain is, like, defamation of the idol, but I do feel like with, idols who have done wrong, like, do need to apologize. And, like, how are they even supposed to do that if the person doesn't come forward? So that's kind of why I'm saying, like, these people will need to come forward, not necessarily publicly, but to the companies and to the people they're accusing, if that makes sense. Because I know coming forward to the public is kind of dangerous and they might get attacked, but I feel like the companies and the people that have been accused at least need to know who these people are so that they can try to rectify the situation. Overall, I think the biggest takeaway from this should just be to keep an eye out for things, wait before you make assumptions because you don't know what, literally anything about the situation could change by the hour. Just kind of, I recommend right now for people to keep a neutral opinion until we find out more because there's so much that we don't know and this is so many accusations all at once that trying to unpack them all in such a short amount of time is almost impossible. And just to be kind to one another because regardless of who is right or wrong in these situations, there are 14 people who have done something awful to 14 other people. And that's sad. It's really, really sad. And it's sad that people that a lot of us look up to and watch and enjoy are involved. And I hope the best for all the victims, whoever they may be. And I just be kind to one another. I think that's the message a lot of people are preaching right now is just to be nice, be kind, because you never know who's going through a rough time. You never know what's going on. And I just kind of want that to be the message, is not to jump to conclusions, not to start Twitter wars. We've had enough of those already. Let's not start more. And just be nice. Because again, we don't even know who we're supposed to be fighting for. We don't know who's right or wrong. And we may never know who's right or wrong. But I think the last thing that any of us want to do is to throw hate and attack someone who is completely innocent in all of this. So be careful right now. Don't say mean things. Don't spread mean things. And try to contribute to the K-pop community being a kind place again. Right now in the end card, which should be coming up soon if it hasn't already, I'm gonna leave some playlists and stuff to some happier videos on my channel. So if you guys want to just forget about this for a little bit, there's stuff there that you can link to. I'm not doing it to try to promote a whole bunch of stuff, but just since I know a lot of this is heavy for people, and I know after looking all this stuff, I want to look at something happy right now too, so I'm going to leave that so you guys can click off of this into something a little bit more positive. And yeah, I love all you guys, and spread kindness.